with lots of time. What a throw! Robin one for the end zone. Touchdown LSU. Capture with a timer score. LSU looks unstoppable. Going deep near the end zone. It's caught and a touchdown. She was looking to throw.
Looking right, throwing right, into the end zone, caught for the touchdown.
Open at the 30, the slide. He got it to him. Touchdown, Mechie. Target and a big breakaway. Just downfield. Diving catch. Touchdown, are you kidding me? What a play. Nice with lots of time. What a throw! Robin one for the end zone. Touchdown LSU. Capture with a timer score. LSU looks unstoppable. Going deep near the end zone. It's caught and a touchdown. She was looking to throw.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Season 5 semifinal game. We have number 2 Auburn, who is currently, I believe, 10-0 at this point, going up against number 6 Kansas State, coming off of a big upset win over number 3, who is unfortunately joining me in the booth tonight rather than being on the field. But Twist, how's it going, man?
Yes, I would rather be out there playing, but it's a pleasure to be here with you, and all else. It's a great matchup. This one's gonna be a good one. I have a feeling it's gonna be down to the last possession.
As do I. We're hoping for a really good game here. We've had good games all throughout the playoffs. If you haven't been tuning in, we have a lot of replays up on our YouTube channel. There should be a link in the description or a link somewhere in the channel for you. If you need it, I can put it in the chat as well. So you can catch replays there, or just go back and check the VODs on our Twitch channel. Live games are streamed on Twitch. Replays and highlights are streamed on YouTube and uploaded to TikTok. So nonetheless, I don't know what the official lines are on this game, but I think if you had to set one, where are you going?
If I had to, if there was someone holding a gun to my head, I would take Kansas State at a field goal, somewhere around there. I really do feel like it's going to be a really tough game for each team to stop each other. What's going on here? We got some problems?
Not sure. No one has notified me. Slayer just said, wrong playbook. I choose Arkansas State.
Hey.
Well, I guess we'll have a quick little restart. But in the meantime, anything we talk about to get this thing going here tonight? I mean, we've only got one game, unfortunately.
Yeah, who was their matchup that got delayed?
So BT and Versa, the quarterfinal game between Pittsburgh and Texas, was supposed to take place an hour before this one. BT had something come up, so that game will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Then we had a FCS playoff game that was supposed to be about 6:30 tonight. That one got LSU beat UCLA in that. So LSU will go on to face Washington, who is 7-1. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think he's 7-1.
I believe they are.
Had a first round bye. So the FCS playoffs are underway. We have one quarterfinal game remaining. The rest are in semis. This is the first semifinal game for FBS. And then, hey, season 6 starts on Tuesday, Twist. 1 week from today.
I know. I can't believe it. I can't wait.
So it looks as if I was hoping to time up a little bit better than that. Heads, tails, somebody want to pick? I'm not sure what the delay is here. Both guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think they're talking back and forth because both of them seem to smile about the same time on camera. So
they're flirting.
Could be.
That's cute.
Some friendly banter going on here. I will say this does look a little bit cleaner, Twist.
I'm telling you, man. I'm excited about the upgrade.
Absolutely. So before we get into it, be sure to hit that follow button on Twitch so you don't miss any live game. Criminal Washington's actually in the chat. So what's going on, Criminal? But yeah, so season 6 starts next week, guys. There's a lot of upgrades coming to the stream and things of that nature. But Slayer,
a lot of changes.
To start, he's got 11 personnel, going 4 verts, and
almost a huge mistake right off the bat by Slayer. I mean, didn't read that right. I don't know if he was trying to go there, but bad mistake. I mean, honestly, it should have been picked off, right?
Oh, absolutely. The ball was badly underthrown by Robbie Ashford, and that was, I think, a cover 2 man look. And yeah, I mean, it was just 4 verts against cover 2 man, and Robbie severely underthrew that ball. But 2nd and 10 now. Looks like we got some 3 slants coming in across the field, and
my goodness,
another dropped interception for Kansas State. That definitely would have been a pick 6.
That's 2 passes, 2 almost interceptions. I gotta say, I expect a run here if I'm a defender here. I know it's 3rd and 10, but he's gotten nowhere with the pass game so far.
Yeah, Gerald seems to be snuffing that out. He covered 4 verts very well, covered slants, and here comes a corner route, broken tackle, and about 18 yards in the first down for Auburn. Now here comes the hurry up offense.
And Slayer is known for his no huddle attack. He's gonna press you. He's gonna get you in a defense that you might be uncomfortable with. He's gonna keep the gas pedal on.
Yeah, the thing I like about Slayer's kind of offense right now is he's in 11 personnel, which if the last couple of plays he was with a 1 tight end look. He can very easily go to just a regular 2x2 slot or double slot look, or he even put that tight end out wide. And here we see it's still 11 personnel, and he still matches up very well against this Kansas State defense.
That's right. And Kansas State's going with a man defensive approach here, which we can see with the right approach can be torched a little bit. So we'll see if he stays with man defense or if he's going to switch it up, go with the zone.
Here comes the counter to Tank Bigsby. He's got a couple blockers downfield, trucks the safety, picks up 15 yards, and another first down for Auburn.
Yep. Anytime he's going to chunk you for those yards, he's going to get you with a no huddle.
Yeah, now back to the ground game. Tank again, broken tackle again, another 10 yards. 25 yards in the last 2 plays for Auburn.
K-State started off so hot, looking like they were going to get a couple interceptions there, and then as a huge sack, Ashford just couldn't get away on that one.
Yeah, I think Kansas State so far looks to be matching up very well on the slants and the deep routes, just verts and posts. So if Slayer notices that, he may swap to more outbreaking routes, kind of flood concepts or things of that nature, and Kansas State may have to get out of the man coverage quicker than he wants to, as
there it is again.
Ashford throws a dot on the sideline to Dawson Jr. and sets up Auburn inside the red zone.
Essentially what Slayer is using the slants for is more or less a flood route because he's not hitting the slant off of the break. He's waiting for that slant to open up later downfield. So essentially, it's kind of like a flood play, really, right?
Yeah, kind of like a weak flood, like where you're running a route coming from the weak side of the formation or the boundary side of the field, or just I guess technically the weak side of the formation, And no one's stopping an offensive guard or right tackle, excuse me, running on the fullback dive. Auburn takes a 7-0 lead.
That's one way to stuff it in there, huh? Give it to the big dude.
Absolutely. Blake in the chat says it's more of a pick play than a flood concept because there is a middle defender picked after the slant crosses the middle of the field. So looks like Vaughn will bring this one out.
Uh-oh. Ooh, it was one tackle away.
In my opinion, I think Deuce Vaughn's probably the most electric player on the field, and I think he's going to be the workhorse today, kind of similar to how we saw Tank Bigsby be on that drive right there for Auburn. Martinez is going to keep it on the read option on first down. They're going to be 2nd and 4 after picking up a gain of 6.
Martinez pulls it down. He's got a lot of room to run. Smart. Very smart to go down there. How many times have we seen quarterbacks fumble the ball after a scramble like that?
A little too many. I'll draw your attention back to Clemson versus Oregon last season where we had a one quarterback fumble in the first quarter. It ended up being the game-changing play of the game. And now Shippers keeps it on just the inside zone. He's going to pick up 11 yards and another first down for Kansas State.
I don't know if we have an award for, best backup running back in the league, but Shippers has to be right up there. I mean, it's really hard to gain any kind of spotlight when you've got Deuce in front of you, right? I mean, Jordan Shippers, each and every game, I think I've seen him make a big play for Kansas State.
I think so. Well, Shippers is probably a household name for guys that watch any of this league gameplay. He's definitely climbed up my radar. But 2nd and 6, play action. Martinez rolling out to his right. Gonna throw.
Holy.
A great play there by the Auburn linebacker, Boa. And to knock that one loose. Now 3rd and 6 for Kansas State.
One of the things that we're going to see tonight on both sides of the ball is great defense, so it's going to be tough to move the football for these guys. Great play call. And there goes Deuce.
And that was just showing off his agility and quickness there. I mean, that proved to you why he is one of the most electric players in this league and in college football. He was one-on-one with Riley and just out-athleted him essentially. Three-yard gain by Deuce on first down. They're going to be 2nd goal from, I think, about the half-yard line.
Yep. Yeah, you got to run. The box is there for you there. I mean, I'm not sure what Auburn was thinking they were going to stop. Maybe a sweep or a toss because everybody was outside. They had nobody in the middle there. It was an easy play call. Touchdown.
And a tie game, 7-7, 2.5 to play in the first quarter. Auburn will take over on their second possession. Twist, I think that could have been a scary return had he broke left rather than back to the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking the same.
Looks like we got a Wildcat package coming in now. Tank Bigsby will line up at quarterback.
Interesting.
I think this has got to be game plan for Auburn. It looks like it is. Get Bigsby down the left sideline, going to pick up multiple or multiple
Damn,
broken
that was a
tackles.
great play call.
Absolutely. And like I said, I think that was mostly game plan. That looked like he knew exactly what he wanted to go to after the kickoff return, and it worked perfectly, picking up 32 yards.
You're right. I guess, hey, when in doubt, give it to Bixby. Oh, got him.
And another four verts play. Javarius Johnson torched the corner. I don't know if that was cover two or cover two man, but regardless, when you got a man running free down the sideline, you throw it to him. And this time Auburn results 2 plays, 72 yards, and another touchdown.
We're seeing right now why they're number 2 in the nation. I mean, they really do attack on offense. It's tough to stop, run the ball really well, and they can attack you over the top. So, what do you do? How do you stop that? Well, I guess you start by getting a good return. Jackson out to about the 30.
Yeah, really, really good return there for Kansas State to get this drive started. And last time, they moved the ball really efficiently down the field. We've got 3 drives, 3 touchdowns so far. Will we have the same result here? Deuce Vaughn up the middle, picking up about 4. Now going to be 2nd and 6 for the Wildcats. Martinez recognizing he has nobody open, scrambles out of the pocket, picks up 2 yards. Now going to be 3rd and 3.
You can tell that, Gerald's getting a little bit frustrated. He's, nothing that he's really calling is working. He's trying to scramble out. He's trying to gain, just enough for first downs. You can tell that, he's right on the brink of breaking a big one. Oh, bad timing there on that pass. But you can see what I mean. He's just a little out of sorts today.
Hey, I'll tell you what's been working, and that's the run game. The run game worked that first drive. I've seen him score on that same play call that he just called. Unfortunately, this time it results in an incomplete pass, and the punt goes into the end zone, so Auburn's going to take over about their own 20-yard line. I don't know if it's 20 or 25 in this game. Regardless, a 7-point lead in the first quarter, and you just got a huge stop on defense. It's a good start for the Auburn Tigers.
It is. Another thing to keep in mind, too, is, we did extend the minutes, and it's one thing that we talk about, but we sometimes forget, is this is a long game. There's a lot of stuff can happen still.
And if I'm not mistaken, Kansas State will get the ball to start the second half. So even going down 2 scores is nothing to really fret about. You can still very easily get back into this one with, a touchdown in the half and a touchdown to start the second half. Multiple guys open there on slants. He's going to find Coy Moore for a 14-yard reception and a first down for Auburn. I think they've only had 1 third down so far, and he converted it at 3rd and 13.
Yeah, they really do seem dialed in right now.
And Tank Bigsby is exactly what his name is, just a tank. He's broken a tackle on pretty much every run he's had this game so far.
Seems like it.
The 2x2 set for Auburn is working to perfection.
Yep.
I wouldn't call that a broken tackle, but more yards after contact for Tank.
I think one of the things to point out here is just how well the offensive line for Auburn is playing right now. There is little to no pressure on both runs or passes from Kansas State, and Auburn's really able to do what he wants to do all game.
Yeah, and there goes man coverage, and like I mentioned earlier with the out-breaking routes. It's been there every time. I think that's 3 for 3 so far for Auburn.
Yep, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Does this shock you?
Not necessarily. I mean, we've had 4 possessions, 5 if you count this one. We've had, I'll say, a 75% touchdown rate. That's not really shocking to me. The one stop, again, kind of like I said, I'm expecting lots of points, and I'm expecting this game to be a 1 or 2 possession difference maker.
Yeah, I would answer the same way. I don't think this is necessarily shocking. Auburn's, unbeaten, number 2 in the country, and obviously has a lot to prove. I mean, he's playing like he's saying, "Hey, I'm here, guys. I'm ready for season 6, and I'm going to come in with a championship on my belt." I who's going to stop him? Hopefully,
Exactly.
Kansas State can do it today and wake up and make this a good game. It looks like he just got a little bit of life there. 3rd and 8. This could be a big play for the game, don't you think?
Absolutely. If I'm a defense coordinator here, I'm expecting slants, something kind of mesh, and really it's a mesh concept with its slants is really what he's doing. So some type of mesh here. No, we're going to go to the ground game. Tank Bigsby walk
Oh,
into the end zone, 10-yard touchdown run, and Auburn's now up 2 scores.
like I said, Gage, I mean, he just seems dialed in. He really has a great game plan, and he's keeping Kansas State guessing. I don't think that K-State has any idea what play is coming next, and it's working for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, that's 3 touchdowns for Auburn on 3 drives. That's
Yep.
about what I was expecting. These guys have put up great offensive numbers all season. That's part of the reason why he is 9-0 or 10-0 rather. And he's 2 wins away from national championship, one after this one.
Looks like Gerald says, "All right, I've had enough. I'm going 4 verts. I'm just going to scramble till I can win this thing and put this in Martinez's feet." Right?
Absolutely. Martinez can carry you. There was one game I was watching Gerald earlier this year where I wish he would have fed Martinez's ground game more. I think he ended up losing the game because he was kind of relied on his arm a little too heavily.
Mm.
To me, right now, Auburn's locking you up in man coverage. I don't expect them to get out of man coverage anytime soon. So you got to find ways to create picks and get Deuce Vaughn open out of the backfield like you did just there.
Yep. I mean, it seems, as we're watching this game unfold, we do see that Auburn's momentum is there, and they've scored every time they've had the ball and that kind of thing. But here we are, we're looking at this game, and if Kansas State comes down here and scores like they're driving down here, they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna do that. All of a sudden, it's a 1-score game, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing to be concerned about is if you get that ball back to Auburn, can he chew that clock down to where you don't have an opportunity to score before the half? If Auburn
Right.
scores before the half, that whole middle 8 could go in his favor. And a lot of these games have proven that winning that middle 8 or technically middle 6 in the playoffs is vital.
It sure is.
I don't think I've ever seen that animation before on this game.
Yeah, that was interesting. I kind of wish that would have worked and you could have broken away from that just to say we saw it happen.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he's got a man. He's got. Oh, I don't think he saw it. Did you see it? And it's
Yes,
intercepted.
I did. It looked like Martinez was. I don't even know how to explain that. He didn't really throw it with anything behind it, and it just kind of fluttered right to the defender.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe he was expecting that receiver to break across the middle of the field, ended up not breaking, and this thing could get out of hand really quickly. Twist.
Yeah, he's really needs to stop here.
And
Oh
there
my
it
goodness, and
is.
he gets one.
There it is. I told you. I've pretty much already kind of picked out on how these teams are playing defensively. It's lots of man coverage, and for Kansas
Yep.
State, it's working with slants and it's working with 4 verts, and that's what Auburn's bread and butter is. And if on the flip side of that, Auburn's working man on everything. So which
Yep.
team adjusts the quickest is ultimately who's going to win this game. As Adrian Martinez is brought down for a 2-yard loss on a read option play.
And that was played really well by Slayer there. He read that from actually pre-snap, and I could tell because he was that user, and he kind of floated him out a little bit. As soon as he saw that play happen, he knew exactly where to be, and he played it perfectly.
Absolutely. Now we got 2nd and 12. Going to head the ball off to Deuce on the inside zone, and his speed alone gets him 11 yards there.
It's about as good of an answer as you can have right there after that loss.
Absolutely. When you got a 4-man box, I'd expect to see the run again, and we do.
Exactly.
And there's Deuce. 7 yards and another first down for Kansas State. Anytime you have a 4-man box twist, I'd say 90% of the time it's an automatic run.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about that too. I mean, and then you even lighten that up even more with a 3-man box sometimes, the 3-man front. it gives you all kinds of avenues and holes. So I'd continue to run the ball if I'm. Are you kidding me? What a catch by Brooks!
I kind of wish you would have
Sets him up
scored.
first and goal. Holy cow, partner! We've seen some plays tonight.
We have. We've seen some locked-in players so far. And now Deuce, he's going to find pay there for the first time this game. And now we have a 21-14 game, 2:20 to play before the half.
Yeah, I'd be excited too, Deuce. That was quite the turnaround. Kansas State gets the pick, comes back, scores just like we talked about, makes it a one-score game. They're back in business, man.
They are, and like if you're Gerald, a stop here would be huge. The stops you just had on each other kind of canceled out.
Yep.
Turnover, next play, turnover. A
Oh
stop
my goodness.
here could be huge for Auburn or for Kansas State because you prevent that Auburn score to go back up 2 scores. You could tie the game before half and then take the lead in the third quarter, and I think that's the goal for Gerald here.
Yeah, I agree.
Gonna hand the ball to Tank Bigsby. Picks up a few, not even great blocks, just good timed blocks there by his offensive line and wide receivers to pick up 7 yards. Second and 3 now. Gonna hand the ball to Tank again, who just gets the edge. And bad blocking on the perimeter by the wide receiver ultimately halts Tank's big run from what could have been a 60-plus yard touchdown to a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, and what Auburn's doing right now is he's just playing inside-outside game, and even just left and right game right now with his run game, setting up Gerald. Which way am I going to go? Am I going to give it to the counter? Or am I going to give it to the power? This time he chose up the middle, so he really is just throwing. If you think of it as his boxers, he's throwing jabs, hooks. He's hitting all sides, and it's hard to stop.
Yeah, he's really setting up that that kill shot. He's set jab to the left, hook to the right, vice versa, and then eventually that kill shot's coming. You just got to figure out how to avoid that one to, what do they say, kind of take the blows.
That is a huge stop right there. Could not have come up with a bigger tackle right there if you're Coach Gerald.
Absolutely. And Slayer's got a decision maker here. It looks like he will go for the field goal and just take the points. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
You don't want to go for it and not get it. Similar to what I said
Correct.
earlier, you don't want Kansas State a chance to take the lead on their first possession. Now, could they still? Yes, but you're down 4 at that point rather than down a whole lot more.
Yeah, and that's a no. You got to get points there, and Coach Slayer. That's why he's in the position he's in, is because he makes decisions like that, puts his team in a good spot to win. So now, if Gerald can drive down the field here and put points on the board, that's ideal for him too. But it was a good job of getting at least 3 there by Slayer.
Absolutely, and both running backs are averaging, I think, over 7 yards per carry. I think that was my math on Deuce, and I know Bigsby was up over 11. So huge run games here in the first half of this semifinal game. And I think Gerald will have to go about 85 yards if he wants to score here before the half.
What a ball.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's, again, 4 verts, except a little wrinkle out of it. I think that was more of a wheel route from number 2 or 3. But it worked perfectly. Adrian Martinez with a dime downfield and a huge gain.
Yeah, and the reason why that little wheel wrinkle worked is because of the timing of that route. The defender was already running with the previous vertical, so that opened up the delayed vertical behind it, which is a great concept.
Absolutely. Now, 2nd and 2. Gerald needs a first down just to stop the clock so we don't have to use that timeout, and there he goes. He will get it. 1st and 10. He's pretty much in field goal range now, maybe a long field goal.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he takes too many risks here. Oh,
Talk about a risk there. A good play there by the defensive end. Gerald, a sigh of relief. Slayer can't believe it. Martinez rolling out to his right. waiting on somebody to get open, and it doesn't happen, and now
Yeah.
Gerald's going to have to use that last time out, and that's
Yep.
essentially going to force him to throw the ball here on third down.
Now you've either got to get this first down, or you have to get out of bounds. Yeah.
And that's not what you wanted to do there. Now Slayer will have 5
And that's
seconds.
a huge stop. Huge stop for Slayer.
It
Huge.
is, absolutely, because, like I talked about, I think 2 or 3 times already, it prevents Gerald from taking the lead in the third quarter with his first possession. Bigsby up the middle, and those inches there stopped the clock just enough, or prevented the clock from being stopped, and the 1 second able to tick off sends us to the third quarter. Now, Gerald's got to get something. I don't even think he necessarily has to get something going. He's just got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, exactly right.
He's played well offensively. I think he's got 2 turnovers and 1 punt so far at this game.
Yeah, that last turnover hurt more than the others just because it took points away. Like we talked about, he was in field goal range, so all he really needed to do to get points there was run the ball a little bit more, maybe take his last time out and kick the ball, and we're within a touchdown now. But now he's down 10. He does get the ball back. Let's see if he can do something with it.
Yeah, and Deuce up the middle. That's now 144 rushing yards on the day. Basically 140 in the first half for Kansas State. It's a quick out route there, beats the man coverage. That's what we've saw all day from Auburn. Seeing it now from Kansas State, going to be a first down for the Wildcats.
Just a really well-timed pass there with that receiver, and you can tell they've been working on that since day one. Perfect timed routes there.
I've seen multiple times today receivers running across the middle of the field open, and it seems as if Martinez is kind of run-first mindset right now.
Yeah, it does seem kind of, blinders on or just scramble till I get out of bounds, because I've seen some guys just like you have that have broken open. As he hits we're going to have a challenge here.
I think that's maybe a catch. I couldn't tell if that back foot stayed down long enough.
Yeah, you never can tell with this video game stuff, but yeah, they took it away from him, so that's going to be an incomplete pass there, partner.
It doesn't hurt too bad. I think that was only a 2, maybe 3-yard gain there, but 3rd and 5 nonetheless. Got to pick up those 2 yards right back. And Rippy in the chat asked if we have a filter on. It's not a filter. We just changed our RCPS3 settings. We'll probably send those out to you guys at some point. We're kind of testing right now, and it does look a lot better. But Martinez, I think that was a screenplay that got blown up. And now Gerald, second half, down 10, going to go for it on 4th and 5.
Interesting play call. I mean, maybe he knew he could go for it, so he just wanted to see if he can get a blitz or something off of him, which isn't a bad play call, I guess. But now it puts you in a tough spot. I mean, if you knew you were going to go for it, why wouldn't you run it and try to get a few yards? You know what I mean?
That's true, but he's got a man wide open. And
no.
The pain. He had a corner route wide open down the right side.
He sure did.
And
he sure did.
Deuce Vaughn was open as well, just a bad pass out of the reach of Deuce. And now Slayer with a chance to truly take over this game and potentially put it out of reach for good.
There's another huge downfield block by their tight end that has really been the story of this game. I mean, that counter play hasn't been stopped for, I think, less than 20 yards, I feel like.
That's true. That's part of the reason why Tank's averaging, I think, 11 or 12 yards per carry at this point. And now, I know we're in the booth and we can see a lot more. We're not making reads, but I've seen a lot of points left off the board at this point in the game twist.
I agree, and of course we don't have the nerves. We don't have because playing in the RFL, it is a big deal, man. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of viewers. The whole league talks about every single matchup, and especially when you get into the playoffs, it's really nerve-wracking. So of course, us being in the booth, being able to calmly see this game and talk about it, we can probably see more openings than our two friends here. But yeah, there have been a lot of open receivers, really on both sides of the ball. It just seems like Slayer has taken advantage of it more so than
An interception.
And oh my
Savage.
God, go!
No,
No,
get
get out of his way! You kidding me? That was such a huge play.
That could have easily been a pick six. Instead, we have the hurdle over
So we have
Casper.
the funny hurdle animation happening right away.
And then
Oh.
his own defender coming back to block ends up preventing a pick six. But now Martinez, he's got.
Oh my God! That's probably going to be reviewed and if not challenged, but if that stands, that might be the play of the season.
It could be. And see, what sucks for Gerald is Wild was going to be wide open as soon as he got through that mess. Instead, Martinez threw it into the mess, and it results in the interception. That's twice this game we've had an interception on one play and then an interception on the following play. That's wild.
Buddy, my mouth is still open. I can't believe what I just saw. And I actually can't believe that Gerald didn't challenge that. I mean, is that something that you would have taken a timeout, away from yourself for, or is that something you would have just let go?
If I'm being honest, Twist, knowing the game itself, I probably would have let it be because I've had that animation a couple times where if they call it an interception and it's not a sideline catch or anything, 9 times out of 10 it's going to stand. So I'd maybe hold that challenge and see if I can't use it later. You may not ultimately need to use it, but right now that timeout could be huge.
Yeah, and knowing me, I would have challenged it, lost the timeout, and that would have come back to bite me. So you're probably right.
Hey, hindsight's always 20/20.
100%. On that last play, it looked like Gerald made a really good play on that slant read and just didn't react to the football. It looked like he made the right play. He was in the spot to get the interception and just didn't make the play.
Yeah, tough breaks for all around for Kansas State. Tank Bigsby now 9.5 yards per carry, 180 yards on the ground, approaching that 200-yard mark. And now back to the Wildcat. This time we're going to hand it off to Hunter.
So the first time we see that, he has, Bixby takes it to the left side. Now they have the wrinkle, of course, with just the give on that jet sweep. He's really just playing games at this point, don't you think? He's pretty locked in.
He is, and the biggest thing is, I touched on this earlier in just a little side conversation we were having in the Discord, is everyone has a tendency, and right now I'm having a hard time picking up on Slayers on the run game.
Yeah, and we're in the booth in a very calm state. That's another good point you make, man. I'm having a hard time figuring out what his next move might be as well. And I can see the play calls he's got on screen too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a great job mixing it up. Like you talked about earlier, inside-outside counter, read option, zone, halfback off tackle. I haven't seen a buck sweep yet. I know that's kind of popular in the league. But he does have chew clock on. He's trying to get this thing out of reach as quick as possible. A huge third down coming up. And the biggest thing for Kansas State is if you can force a field goal, it remains a 2-score game.
Yeah, exactly. A stop here, and it's not over yet. So, although he's in dime here, I'm not sure having 2 deep free safeties is going to help him here.
Yeah, I don't know. And Tank, again, living up to his name, 6-yard touchdown run, and Auburn's looking to make this a 3-score game with the extra point. And now the pressure is officially on, Gerald.
Yeah, color me confused, Gage. I don't know what that defensive call was because, like we talked about, anytime you see a light box, you're going to run it. And especially when you're in the goal line like that, you would think that he'd come out with more in the box.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to match personnel. I didn't see what Auburn was in, but like you said, if I'm coming out in dime, and immediately they have at least 6 guys with the 5 linemen and the quarterback. So if I see 4 in the box, even with my 6, I may find some way to get Robbie Ashford involved in the ground game.
Almost intercepted again. Should have been.
Absolutely. Now 2nd 10 going to be, that was 4 verts again. And like I said, Auburn's done a great job at locking up Kansas State through the air all game and just man coverage. And it hasn't, Auburn hasn't needed to run any type of zone because everyone except for Deuce out of the backfield twice has been covered pretty tightly.
Yeah, I don't know really what the difference is. Man defense usually has people that are open just because there's beaters every once in a while, but they have really been pretty locked down all game.
Yeah, Gerald's kind of picked him apart a little bit on curls and outs, but everything else has been pretty much locked up. And I mean, when you're up 17, you can give up a few.
And a drop.
I couldn't finish my sentence after that.
It's just one of those games.
A great ball by Martinez. Martinez has been on fire on the deep balls, just hasn't got anything to go his way so far. Wheeler with another moss of a catch. Do we need the conservative catch check Gerald here?
I think we need to. That was incredible.
It was. It was. But now Martinez back to pass.
Yeah.
Can he put the moves on Popoa? He
Carved
does.
him up. Let's
Now
see
he's
if he
got-
gets a touchdown out of this. Oh, that's a very smart play.
Absolutely, very wise decision there by Martinez. Take the slide, take the yards, hang on to that football. Now you got 1st and goal from the 9.5-yard line.
Now, I know this game isn't over yet, but as this, winds down a little bit and we
What?
perhaps
roughing the
see
passer?
don't see that too often. Yeah, sure was. Automatic first down. So, again, this game's not over yet, but as we wind down on the career of Gerald at Kansas State, he's leaving after this season. So this will be the last game he coaches if he loses this game here at Manhattan.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming off of a big upset win in the first or second round of the playoffs in the quarterfinal game. Not necessarily only right to go out the next round, but it's hard to get up back-to-back weeks. Whether it be regular season, postseason, doesn't matter. It's incredibly difficult to get to play essentially a national championship type game back-to-back weeks. And Kansas State won a quote-unquote national championship game in round 2. Now in round 3, they're kind of getting it handed to them, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yep. Just goes to show you, man, this league is very competitive, and there really is just no easy wins. There's no gimmies.
Yeah, no drop off, especially in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you're ranked 1 or ranked 12. There truly
Did
is.
he miss it? Oh
He
my
got
God,
it.
I thought he missed it.
He got it. So there truly is no drop off between the top 4 who got a bye and 5 through 12. So I think we may see some more upsets coming up. There's still, I think, 3 or 4 more games that have to be played in total in the playoffs. So now, can Gerald get this onside kick?
Diner recovers it. It's going to trip over a man, and that's depending on what happens on this drive will dictate, if this game goes down to 0 quickly, or if K-State gets a fumble recovery or something quick, maybe scores, it'll draw it out. But I think this game is in hand, and it's probably going to be Auburn moving on, huh?
Absolutely. And if you're Auburn, I mean, are you wanting to score here to just put it out of reach, or are you really just wanting to kind of chew the clock down and get this thing over with so you can go celebrate?
Yeah, and I think we'll see a lot of Tank. He's probably just going to feed the monster here and let him do his thing. Oh, my
God
goodness.
bless Tank Bigsby.
If there is a Heisman Trophy type of award, he probably has his name up there with this kind of performance. Look at that, 236 yards rushing today.
Yeah, absolutely the game MVP. And can he tack on another touchdown? If Gerald commits some type of penalty and gives him a first down, I think Auburn could probably just knee this game out. Don't think Kansas State just used a timeout, so now Auburn probably going to tack on one last score, and then we'll just kind of see what happens from there.
Yeah, and I don't think that he's doing it maliciously. I think it's just a matter of, you can't stop me, so, that's how it's going to go type of thing. He's not trying to run the score up or anything. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of just what the game calls for at this point. 3rd and inches from the half-yard line. I mean, if he took 2 knees, it would basically just give Kansas State the ball back. So might as well just get a few extra points. That's really the icing on the cake. This thing's over. Fat Lady's singing, but there's still a minute 50 to play.
Well, we talked about it from the beginning. Coach Slayer really has just looked really dialed in. He really executed all of his game plan to the best of his ability, and maybe had a little luck here and there, but I mean, that's what it takes to be good, right? I mean, when you're playing well, good things seem to happen.
Absolutely, and that's really all you can ask for. You want to give yourself a shot. At the end of the day, that's really all you can do, is give yourself a chance, control what you can control. Adrian Martinez threw it really where there was no real estate there. It was completed out of bounds, but
it was intercepted out of bounds, actually.
Yeah, completed to the wrong team.
Yeah, and he's ignoring the left side of the field almost exclusively today, because he's had some guys break open over there. We've both made comments about it, and that time he had a one-on-one. I don't know who number 4 is, but he's had a day. He hasn't really been looked at.
Yeah, and I mean he's got Brooks open down the sideline, but he had Deuce Vaughn open down the left seam as well. Now Popoa, can he catch Brooks? No, he cannot. Kansas State with a late score. Gerald's celebrating with his kid on the sideline. I've never seen anything like it in this league, Twist, but it is what it is.
Well, it's nice to see him keep fighting. It's nice to see, you don't want to see any team give up and just kind of let things go. But if they get this onside, it gets a lot more exciting, doesn't it?
It does. Things could get interesting. I mean, he's still got 2 timeouts in a 2-possession game. But that's
Steiner again with the recovery.
Yeah, that's not going to help. And now Auburn, 1 first down away from icing this game and booking his trip to Baltimore. Is that where the national championship is? I can't remember.
Man, I actually have. As soon as I lost my game last week, I checked out, my guy.
Philadelphia, the city.
Brotherly love. Yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting for Slayer. This will be his first trip to the national championship. So good for him.
Yeah, Slayer's also joining an exclusive club here, Twist. If I'm not mistaken, there's only maybe 3 guys that have finished a season undefeated, and only one guy yourself that has finished a full season undefeated. Looking through the coach history, I know myself went 8-0 in season 3. I went 8-0 in season 3. You went 12-0 in season 3. 11-1 last season. However, you did lose the regular season finale. But looking back, I don't know that many other guys. Maybe MT finished a regular season undefeated while he was at Penn State in season 2. Other than that, Twist, it's an exclusive club that Slayer's
It is
joining.
a pretty small list, yeah, and he's going for it. He's 1 game away now from being in that elite club. So, I don't know how many guys root for this guy, but I think maybe some of them might just root for him because it's going to be added onto that list. It's a pretty exclusive list.
Absolutely. It's like we've said, this league is not there's no pushover in this league. We're 5 seasons in at this point, and the league in terms of competitiveness is only getting more difficult. So as we wrap up here from Phoenix, Arizona, Auburn 38, Kansas State 24. If you or somebody you know want to be a fan or player in the league, there should be a link in the description below. If there's not, check it out on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter, TikTok, pretty much all social media. But thank you guys for tuning in. And Twist, looks like we'll be back tomorrow night for Pittsburgh versus Texas.
That's right. Can't wait.